I have 7:30. So at this point, we'll start. Good evening. Welcome to the East Lampeter Township Zoning Planning Commission meeting of August 11th. Four members are present by Zoom. Tara's in the township office. At this point, I'll go around and take roll. If you're present, say present and raise your hand so we know you're connected. Dan Pizzuara.
Present.
Dan McCune has not showed up. Roger Root.
Present.
Darrell Seaholtz.
Present.
John Keeler, present. Everybody's present and accounted for. There's no technical issues, so we can continue the meeting. At this point, we'll pledge of allegiance. Please join us. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America,
and to the
to the
republic
republic
which stands
stands
one nation
nation
under God,
God,
liberty and
indivisible,
justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 is a note. It's census time again. Everybody, please fill out your census form online at 2020census.gov. Approval of the minutes of the July 14th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting. Having read and reviewed those minutes, are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to pass as written.
I'll make a motion to pass as written.
Any questions on that motion? Hearing none, I'll look for a second to that motion.
Roger Root seconds.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So passed as written.
John,
Old
if you'll give me
business,
just
none at
one
this
second.
time.
John,
New
if you'll
bus-
give me just 1 second. Dan is
Surely.
trying to get in.
Good evening, Dan. Can you hear us?
Hear me?
Yes.
We're good.
We had the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
We've just approved the minutes.
okay.
Now we're on item 6, new business.
Yep.
It's 2020-11, Melvin and Stephen Stolzfus,
Yes,
2835 and 3017 Harvest Drive, lot add-on plan. Good evening.
So the consultant and the applicant have both chosen not to attend as they're not tech savvy, and neither did they want to attend in person due to health reasons. Now, this particular plan, I believe Ralph Hutchison went through with you at the prior meeting as a briefing item, and you all received copies of the plan both by email and within your paper packets. So the plan is a lot add-on plan from a property within Laycock Township to a property that's split between both Laycock Township and East Lampeter Township. Thus, you have 2 review letters from 2 different engineers, Laycock Township engineer and East Lampeter Township's engineer. In addition, you have the Lancaster County Planning Commission review letter. The applicant's consultant did indicate that they are aware of both the engineer letters and the LCPC letter and are working to meet those comments, or to address those comments, excuse me. This is a lot add-on of 1.3184 acres to be joined with the property that's owned by Melvin Stolzfus along North Ronks Road. Did everyone get a chance to take a look at the plan as proposed via email or through your packet?
Yes,
I didn't see a blueprint.
But I did not, were there county planning commission comments in the packet? I didn't have it.
you
County
received an
Planning
email.
Commission comments came this afternoon by email.
Ah,
And I didn't get the blueprint or, the drawing. All I got was an aerial view of the actual lot. I didn't realize, I guess there was a packet over at the office I was supposed to pick up. I didn't realize, I thought everything was in the email this time.
The plan was in the email as well, Dan.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting it.
Okay, there were two map layouts. I believe they're labeled K1 and K2.
So would it be in the, let's see, maybe send it to Hanover. No,
That would be the Hanover one is actually the engineer for Lake Hawk Township. Hold on, and I will bring it up on the share screen, Dan, if you give me just
okay.
Can everyone see that?
Yes,
yes.
So you see we have North Bronx Road right here. This is the existing Melvin Stoltzfus property. And then this parcel here from the Steven Stoltzfus property in Lake Hawk Township will be added to the existing Melvin Stoltzfus property. The resultant lot is just over 2 acres, 2.008 acres. And as you can see, majority of that property is within Lake Hawk Township.
Right. Now, the aerial view, the engineer pointed out with the red, circle there, some buildings on a property line, I guess is what they're pointing out. Is that correct? That it's right on a property line?
That is, I believe, Dan, that is within the David Miller review letter.
Right.
Let me see if I can bring that up, Dan.
Here, okay. Yeah.
top of page 3.
Yeah, I got the aerial view of that. I have that, right, that red. Now it looks like he's showing some buildings right on the property line of the, I guess, the existing. It has nothing to do with the actual subdivision or the add-on. It's the adjacent property there.
That does look to be an issue.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, quite honestly, if any of this has been taken care of to date, because I do not know when this aerial photography is from. But you can see that at least 2 of those are within Lake Hawk Township, and it looks like this one here.
Is that a building or is that just a parking or something? I don't know what that is.
That I cannot tell.
Yeah.
It's like somebody assumed where the property line was.
It does look that way.
So
And that is in David Miller's review letter, so the applicant
Okay.
and applicant's consultant will need to address that.
okay. And we're permitted to comment on that or disagree with the David Miller letter?
You can agree with what the David Miller letter has pointed out here as an issue. But by conditioning an approval on the David Miller letter, this would absolutely come into effect for the applicant and their consultant to address.
Yeah, it looks like it's more of a Leacock Township rather than us though. Because I think that the parts in East Lampeter looks like it may be just a slab possibly. I don't even know what that is, but the way the shadows on that almost looks like it's a slab.
Let me see, gentlemen, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute and I'm going to see if I can bring up any more, if that's a current aerial or if I can bring up a different aerial. Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, while you're looking at that, Tara, I've just pulled up Google Maps on my phone and it's the same image that's pulling up there. And it's tough to tell what that is, whether that's a carport or if that's a cement slab on the side. I would guess that it's just a cement slab on the ground.
But there's no question there's buildings there.
Yes, to the east, just to the east of that white, what we're calling a slab,
Yeah.
appears to be a structure of some kind.
And that falls in Leacock Township though.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the same thing. It does look to be a concrete slab of right in this area here,
Mhm.
as well as it looks to be that part of the driveway also encroaches on the property.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but yeah. But there's definitely a building right on the line. And the other building back in the corner there, it looks like it doesn't exist anymore on your aerial view.
That's correct. It doesn't, does yours look like that, Dan, as well?
The one just to the right of your cursor in the trees, there
Yeah.
appears to be a structure on Google Maps, but I don't see it on yours. So I don't know if yours is a newer image or a later image. That's tough to tell.
I agree. Tough to tell. Either way, this is going to have to be addressed
Right.
Okay.
by the applicant.
Okay.
Okay, I think we'll start through June 22nd, David Miller letter. There's
June or
eight-
July?
July.
July.
July 22nd.
July 22nd, excuse me. 8 items that they have to satisfy.
Within the zoning, yes.
Yeah. We go on to subdivision and land development. Reviewing that preliminary plan or a waiver request by the applicant. So I feel we need a waiver request from the applicant in writing before the supervisors meeting if we make that as part of the motion. Item 2 was comment about LCPC, and we did receive that.
Excuse me, John.
Yes,
Dave Miller's calling it subdivision land development plan. Our agenda is calling it a lot add-on, and Hanover Engineers calling it a lot add-on.
So this is where it gets interesting, gentlemen, because East Lampeter Township does not have a lot add-on plan option. It's a subdivision for East Lampeter Township. However, Lake Hawk does.
Okay, well, that was my question. Are these subdivision land development pertinent? They are to us, but because we don't have a lot add-on.
Right.
Just to, so we're all on the same page. Yeah. Thank you.
so with David Miller, there was 26 items. I'd like to see him satisfy number 3. I'd like to see him satisfy all of them. I'm concerned about number 3. It's about future access on North Rocks Road. They recommend a note be added to the plan. County and David Miller's letter, item 16, both mention the fact of ownership certificate and having everybody that's on the deed now should be included in the project. And everybody should be on the deed for the new one. And then we get back to 23, 24, and 25. I believe he should ask for deferrals for those 3 items. And that should be in
With a
writing.
recorded deferral agreement.
Yeah, and that should be in writing before he gets the supervisors meeting. Normally, we'd ask the applicant if he has any questions. He can't respond, so we'll do the best we can with what we have. Did any of you gentlemen have any other issues with David Miller's letter or suggestions?
So the other one to add to the 22, 23, 24, and 25, the deferrals, then they should also ask for, and I'm not remembering where, it may be in the reference or item number 8, where they're saying reference to preliminary lot add-on should be changed, but they should also ask for a waiver of the preliminary plan and that this would be a final.
Right.
So they
And that
have-
was number 1 under subdivision land development.
Or no, okay. In a sense, 5, well, 1 in regards to street improvements, sidewalks, curbs, but a waiver for number 1. Thank you, Tara.
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments on David Miller's letter? Hearing none, we have Lancaster County from July 28th. They wanted to add a LCPC file number to the right-hand corner of the plan sheets. Item 2 was some paperwork they wanted done on the plan for clean and green. 3 was part of the comments that David Miller also had. Revised deeds for the resultant lot should be provided and recorded as part of this plan with everybody's name on it. And item 4 was to make sure that if they change names or something like that, they contact Lancaster County so they can assist in getting the plans through the system. At that point, reading the engineer's review and the county review, were there any citizen questions or comments, Tara?
Looking at the public comments email, there are none.
Okay, questions or comments from the planning commission?
On the Dave Miller letter, under subdivision land development, item 7, the sketch plan of the remaining lands of the owner. All the remaining lands well, the majority of the remaining lands, let's say, are east are in Laycock and not in East. There's just that small triangle. So is that necessary for us to request that, or?
So that is in our ordinance. Daryl is speaking of this triangle here. It is in our ordinance. We've required it in prior subdivisions. If you recall a subdivision about a year ago along, I believe it was Strasburg Pike, that was split between West Lampeter and East Lampeter. We required the same type of sketch plan of how it could possibly be further subdivided in the future, meeting both of the requirements, or excuse me, the requirements of both of the municipalities.
Well, along with that, if I looked at it correctly, that triangle in East Lampeter is all ag zone. So would we want to be encouraging a development plan in ag lands?
Not necessarily. However, there is allowances for subdivisions within the ag zone.
So you're not looking for a housing development. You're looking for what it is zoned, what you could do with it. I don't think you're trying to look, and somebody could say, yeah, well, we could put 97 houses in there because we don't allow houses in the ag zone. I think what you're looking for is, I'm not sure what the upper, yeah.
If I
I'm not sure what
recall,
Laycock Township says about farms and subdivisions.
Yeah,
We're
I
at,
recall there's also a comment that requires that they put what the remaining lands, or excuse me, what the parent tract has remaining in subdivision rights.
yes.
And
all of
so should, this goes right along with that. Should those subdivision rights be allocated in East Lampeter Township, then how would this triangle be subdivided?
okay.
Because all the lands in Laycock are agricultural or industrial. Now, not that it couldn't be subdivided. I agree, it wouldn't be housing unless there is that option, you know, in Laycock, but
I'm not familiar enough with their zoning ordinance to know that.
yeah, I'm not at all either, so.
So if it said they were allowed one division per 25 acres of existing farm as of date of ordinance, I believe we're at 53 acres. They'd be allowed two. What they're using right now is one. Where would they put the other one? And what acreage would it be? So they could put a 2-acre lot down in that corner with road access, and that should satisfy the sketch plan?
That would satisfy the sketch plan.
So it's a requirement by ordinance. Here, he could do a lot of things. In some instances, it would be more detrimental to surrounding properties. This one doesn't seem to be, but the ordinance calls for it, so we should follow through with it.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments on the plan? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion.
Before that, John,
Yes,
in the Hanover letter, I think there was reference to us doing a deferral.
We have opted not to do a deferral, or otherwise we wouldn't be here tonight.
Well, yes. So I think so. Just as we do, we are actually doing a subdivision land development plan review and comment, and not a deferral. So any reference to, and I forget if that's on the, I don't think that's on the plans at all, but that we're not doing a deferral. Yeah.
So number 12 on the Hanover review indicates that there needs to be evidence of East Lampeter Township's review and action provided to Lake Hawk Township.
Okay. Thank you.
and I guess we should also have the same note on ours. That we want notification of what they did.
That would be perfectly acceptable.
And if we have no further questions or comments, we're back to looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion in reference to, where are we here? East Lampeter Township Plan 2020-11 for Melvin and Stephen Stolfus at 2835 Harvest Drive and 191 North Bronx Road. For this subdivision land development plan. In reference to Dave Miller letter of July 22nd. The zoning comments 1 through 8, but we satisfied with our zoning officer. With a special note of our discussion on the encroachments and number 7, and clarification of the structures that may be encroaching on or off of their property on the southern property line. In reference to subdivision and land development plan comments, item 1, a waiver should be requested for preliminary plan to allow for a final plan. Items 2, actually items 2 through 21 request that they come in compliance with all of those items. In reference to comment 22, 23, 24, and 25, indicate that if they submit a deferral request for the streets, curbing, sidewalks, street widening, curbing, and sidewalks, if they submit a deferral request I'd recommend approval of that request upon submission of that, or a deferral, and just a note, not a waiver, but a deferral. And obviously, item 6, they comply with, including all those waiver and deferral requests on the plan. And then I have to pull it up here. The county planning commission comments from their letter dated July 28th. Recommend that they come in compliance with the 4 items under the site design commentary. And acknowledge that we reviewed Hanover Engineering's letter for Leacock Township dated July 29th, and would request that the applicant provide all correspondence relative to this plan with Leacock Township to East Lampeter Township. With that, I would recommend approval of this final subdivision plan.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from Planning Commission on the motion before us?
The only thing I would add is that with the deferral, they need to have a deferral agreement.
Yes. I recall that being mentioned, and yes, that a deferral agreement with the deferral request shall also be prepared and submitted for execution by the applicant with the township.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, look for a second to that motion.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. So passed. Thank you for the help with that, Tara.
Absolutely.
Item 7 is briefing items. There's none at this time. Item 8 was other business. LUAB was canceled for the month of August. Number 9 is announcements. And don't forget, I haven't reminded you for a while, fill out your census form at 2020census.gov. Is there any other business for the Planning Commission?
I will need 2 Planning Commission members to come in to sign the Conestoga Valley Middle School plan at your convenience.
And the office is normally open from,
The office is open from 8 until 4. If you'll let us know when you're coming, that would make life just a little easier to let you in the door, because the vestibule is open those hours, but not the actual lobby.
The last I came, I let Alicia know, and she actually had it out on the table in the vestibule with a pen.
We try to accommodate.
Yes. Well, I think I may have brought one, but there was a good one there, so I didn't even need to come in.
wonderful. So hearing no other business, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion before us to adjourn. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
So adjourned. Tara, we